Hey guys, welcome to Monday night's call. Tonight we're going to be talking about how to add value on social media. And I know we get told this all the time, add value, add value, add value, attraction marketing, attraction marketing. And honestly, you're like, what does that even mean? And like, if you're like me, when I heard the word attraction marketing for the first time, I thought, holy cow, I have to be an influencer. Like I have to be doing something all the time to be interesting. Like this is going to be hard, right? Like this is going to be hard. This sounds like a lot of like work that felt, disingenuine or something, you're like, how am I supposed to be interesting 24/7? Or when you say like, oh, you need to be in your stories, you're like, how am I supposed to be doing something fun all the time? Did anybody else feel like this? Because that's kind of how I felt. I was like, where do I even start with trying to add value when I'm a stay-at-home mom, when I'm mostly folding clothes or, wiping butts or chasing kids? Like, how is that at all interesting to other people? But let me tell you, people don't want to look at the highlight reel. Like that ship has totally sailed, right? Like people want to see and relate to you in real life. And by doing that, you are adding value to people. Okay. So I am going to talk about, okay, so what is attraction marketing? Attraction marketing honestly can be name or like it can be fallen under so many different things, So for me, I think attraction marketing is the process of showing customers through demonstration why they can't live without your product. That is what it is meant to be for MLM, right? For network marketing. We as Brianna or Leah, we are our brand. Like Plexus is not our brand. We are our brand. Okay. And so when we are demonstrating how for other people how they can't live without our products, that doesn't mean that we are constantly showing the product on our post. That's not our feed is not 98% Plexus and 3% us. It's the opposite. It is 98% you, right? And 2% Plexus or whatever it may be. And so when you're showing people that, so you're probably thinking like, well, then how am I supposed to show them they can't live without this product? Because you are your brand. So the way that you show up, the energy that you bring to your social media is exactly what they are going to, what they're going to associate, right? And so say for instance, you follow me, right? And so you want to make sure like that you have, so I'm going to go through some things that you want to make sure that you are doing, or at least going to start doing, to help you better add value to your people. And so one of the things that I know a lot of people are like, okay, well, I want to talk to everybody. I want this to be for everybody. And the truth is, it shouldn't be for everybody, right? The products are for everybody, but you should not market the products to everybody, right? You have got to find your people, and that is who you are going to be talking to. Okay. Don't make this as more complicated than it should be, because it really isn't. Think about you. You are your audience, right? You want to attract people who are like you. Okay. So whatever you are like, so you want to think about the old Leah. How did the old Leah feel before Plexus? How did the old Brianna feel before Plexus? The old Sabrina feel before Plexus? Ask yourself, okay, what were those things that I was feeling before Plexus? That is who you want to market for, right? And it goes all with storytelling. Okay. So first you want to identify your target customer and their problems. And you want to speak clearly about those problems when you are showing up on your stories, in your posts. And again, like I said, this does not have to be everyday Plexus, but if you're in your stories and you're talking about in the morning. So I always say like your story should have a beginning, a middle, and an end, right? And so you show something in the morning. Maybe that for me is making my lemon water. And then it is mixing up my pink drink. Okay. So that is something that everyone is they're going to associate that with me, right? Like there's like when they click on the story without even looking up, they're gonna be like, that's Andrea because she's mixing up her lemon water. That's Andrea because there she is mixing up her pink drink. Like you're going to do that every day. And here's the kicker. We make it harder than it should be because we're thinking that we have to be so interesting, that we have to be putting out something new every single day. But when in all honesty, when you think about the people that you love to follow on Instagram, you follow them because you know what you're coming to their page for. They post the same crap every single day in their stories, and we're still drawn to them, right? And so I think we have to get out of our heads that we have to be posting something different every day. Because think about this, like if you're going to say your favorite influencers thing, like you're like, you know, she's, you know her for posting X, Y, and Z, but then on the other hand, one day she's posting something completely random, and then she's posting again something completely random. You're like, what the heck? Like, that's weird. Like, I didn't come here to see this, right? And so she is completely thrown you off, and you're like, this, I don't even know what I'm coming here for, right? Like, I thought I was coming here because I love to see how she makes her kids meals simply, or whatever it may be, organizing hacks or whatever. Sorry, my kids just got home this evening, they'd be loud. So anyways, you want to, if you can figure out, and so what I want you guys to do right now is I want you to take out a piece of paper, get on your phone, whatever it may be, for just a second, open your notes. I want you to write down 3 things that make you you, okay? I'm going to give us 3 minutes to figure this out. I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to do the same. So what are 3 things that you could talk about every single day? And make it the first thing that popped into your brain. I want you to write those down. It doesn't have to be complicated. Like, don't go off on a whim and be like, well, I do like to bake sometimes. That's not what you want to put down. Like, if you are, you know, if you're like, if you love to organize every single day, if you're organizing something every single day, then like you could talk about organizing things, right? Or if you work out every single day and you've got like a workout tip, something like that, like something that is, if someone was like, describe yourself in 3 words, there's 3 things you love to do, that's what you would do. So write those down in 2 more minutes. Okay, so if you want to drop in the chat what yours is, I'm happy. I want to look at them just so I can, if you guys need extra help, I would love to like help you guys go past that. But here's the thing. So if you're a mom, if you wrote down mom life, I want you to go a little bit deeper. Like, okay, what about mom life makes you the mom life, right? Do you have 2 kids, 3 kids, all boys? What is it about mom life? What are you sharing about mom life? Brianna said mindset hacks, workouts, on the go mom life. So these are things like that, all these things fall underneath an umbrella, and the more specific that you can get with that word. So I challenge you guys to go deeper. Ask yourself, okay, okay, boy mom, what are the ages of the boy mom? What can you share about boy mom life? Like all of these things that you can play off of the boy mom life. Busy mom of 3. Okay, what makes your life easier as a busy mom of 3? What are some hacks that you can share with a busy life of kids? And so this is something that you are going to rotate every single week. Okay, these 3 things are going to be your rotators every single week. So when you tell yourself, I don't have anything to post, I don't know what to post, this is what you are going to be posting. Okay, the way my granddaughter amazes me at Crazy Teaching Life, my love for God. Okay, so you're going to be talking about how do I make, you could even talk about like, how do I make for my, Alicia, if you watch your granddaughter, you're like, how do I teach and then also have time to spend time with my granddaughter? Here's how Plexus can play into, maybe I don't want to teach anymore, I want to be a full-time nana, right? Like I want to just hang out with my granddaughter a day. Here's how I'm going to make that happen. Home workouts, simple recipes, toddler tips, breastfeeding journey, help. See, these are things that you can go. Does everyone kind of understand like mom life? Peel it back even more. Like, what kind of mom are you? Are you a crunchy mom? Are you like the messy mom? Are you like the, whatever it may be? Peel those layers back. And then that is going to be your post. Like you're going to have, like for me, recipes, boy mom, like those types of things. So every Monday, I know we've talked about this, but I'm telling you guys that if you if you take this and you just start to show up in these ways, people are going to, you're going to add value, and you're never going to run out of things to add value with, just because these are things that you do every single day. So you're going to have content every single day and you're going to add value. And when you start to add value to people and they can see themselves in your day-to-day life, they're going to say, when Allison posts, the pink drink, and she says, this is like the best thing, I haven't had coffee in 2 weeks. It doesn't matter, if Allison has posted Plexus 3 days ago, but she's given value. And that mom who is like, I feel Allison, like, she's talking about maybe a hard time with her kids, or maybe like a do or don't as, a mom of 3, maybe something that has like a mom hack or whatever. Anyways, that lady or that mom is going to see herself in Allison. And maybe when she posts that pink drink, she's going to be like, sold. Like, I don't know what the pink drink is, but I like Allison and I like what she posts. And so that is going to really get people to trust you. You're going to have more credibility with that person, and you're going to have more influence. And so a lot of people get really like caught up in what to post, when truly you don't have to be Kim Kardashian. I don't relate to Kim Kardashian, right? I really don't. I'm like, I like to see the lifestyle, but like, I'm a mom. Like, I want to see other moms doing mom things with a mom bod, like all that's like my jam, right? Like, and so when you're being relatable, your people are going to come to you. Truly. I'm not saying that, this is not saying that you don't have to reach out, because 1,000% we do, but this is going to make the reach out so much easier, because you're going to have value added to that reach out. Okay. So I want you guys to think about too, is vulnerability. Okay. Attaching an emotion to your story. All right. So when you feel like that, like gut, like that, like, when you're about to post something, then that means you should post it, because that is something that you are truly, like I say, passionate about, or you truly want to share, but you might feel like, oh, like that's a little deep. But you guys, I promise you, that is the post that someone is going to relate to. That is the post that you're going to get. So how about this? Have you guys ever posted something just for a like? Like, you're like, oh, like, I'm going to post just for a like, or I'm going to post just so someone can be like, come on, have we done it? Like, I look good today. Like, I'm going to post this so someone can be like, you look so pretty. Like, yeah. Like, yes, like, come on. Yes. Like, because we're hiding behind, we don't want to be vulnerable. So we're just going to do the easy, right? We're going to post a picture of our kids. We're going to post a picture of ourselves. We're going to post just something easy for an easy like, but that doesn't get your audience any more closer to knowing who you are. And so when you feel like, oh, I don't want to share that, I don't like to tell people, all about me, I have to be honest, this is not the business for you if you are not willing to be open and vulnerable, right? You are here to impact people's lives. And if you're continuously holding your story in because you're afraid of what other people might think, or you're afraid of judgment, you have to dig deeper, and you have to realize that this is about other people that you are impacting. Like, we are here for a reason. Yes, to make money. Yes, to promote these awesome products, but there is someone on the other side of your story that is just waiting for you to post that story so they don't feel alone, right? And so how often do you read something on the internet that is like so freaking vulnerable, and you're like, I'm so glad that person posted that, because that is exactly what I needed to hear. Like, I know for me, when I went through my miscarriage, like this was back in 2017, I couldn't find anything online about like it being like normal, it was always just like, oh, no one talked about it. And when I started to read, like when I found a couple blogs, I was like, thank you, like, for these women for showing up and being vulnerable in a not so great season of life, but they are making me feel like that this isn't my fault, right? And I needed to read those things. And so next time that you feel like that, you're like, well, I don't know, like this just seems a little out of my comfort zone, I want you to go ahead and just post it. Because I promise you that the likes, the comments, those don't matter, you guys. They really don't. Don't tie your worth to how many likes, how many comments you get on posts. It's really, truly not about that. People read things. I am honestly, like I will read people's posts and love the post, but I'll forget to like it. I'll forget to comment on it. Like I'm the world's worst at that, but I like literally like and love and want to and should comment on pretty much like 98% of the posts I read, but I really just don't. So don't get offended by the lack or, you know, whatever of posts and comments. That has nothing to do with how good your posts are. Okay. So I want you to make sure that you're attaching an emotion to this. And so I'm going to give you guys some questions to ask yourself as you're posting here in just a second. So here's the thing is we all have a story, and we can either tell our story in a couple paragraphs, or we can choose to break up our story. Okay. And here's the thing. What do you think that really big influencers, I'm talking about like Tony Robbins, Jenna Kutcher, like, what do you know about them? You know that they tell their story over and over and over and over again, right? Because not the same people see their posts all the time, just like the same people don't see your posts all the time. And so when you post, when you make your content, I say it's evergreen. And that means because you want to repurpose your content. You want that content to never be outdated, right? You want that content to continue to live through to where you could post it in 6 months from now, right? Because not the same people are not going to see that post that they saw that the same people that saw it 6 months ago, they're not going to be the same people that are going to see it 6 months from now. And so when you make content, you want to make sure it stops people, right? Because here's the thing. I know that we're always fed that like, yes, your newsfeed doesn't have to be all like the preset, like that's out, but or not your newsfeed, but your Instagram feed, but it has to be attention grabbing. It really does, you guys. Like you have to put some thought into your post and your pictures and things like that, because that is like a portfolio to people. The eyes and the brain, 2 seconds, right? How often do you go to someone's profile and if it's like all chaotic and just crazy, you're like, oh, I don't even know, like, what is all this? Like, right. And it's like, for me, I'm like, that's too much. Like, I need to know like what I'm coming here for. And if I like it, then I'm going to stay. It's just like an introduction. And so I'm going to give you a couple of tips on that, but I want you to make sure that you do have that emotion attached to your story. Break your story up into multiple parts, right? You can talk about way before Plexus. Talk about some do's and don'ts. Talk about some struggles. Talk about how you overcame those struggles. Get really deep in your story, because that is when you're going to find. And here's the thing, if you get unfollowed, that is so good, you guys, truly. If people unfollow you, if you find like Mary Sue Joe unfollowed you, that is great, because that means you are tailoring down your audience for the people to stick around that are there for you. And that is when you are going to have what they call your niche, right? Like that, those are going to be the people that are there for you, right? And so it's funny because my mentor used to always tell me, like, it's okay. Like it's good for when you see your follow count go down when you're in this process of building up your attraction marketing or your target audience, whatever it may be, because you're filtering out people. And then when you stay the course, because guys, I'll tell you, this is not an overnight thing, right? Don't give it 30 days, don't give it 60 days, don't give it 90 days, give it 6 months to a year of you consistently doing this. And I guarantee if you started today and you came back February 20th of 2024, and you consistently showed up with those 3 things, you got deeper. It's not going to be easy, guys, but if you continue to go deeper into those little pockets, you're really going to find who your people are, and you're going to be able to grow your audience. I'm not talking about 100,000 followers, guys. You literally just need a handful of bought-in people, right? 500 people could really change the trajectory of your business, right? Because those are what if you were in a room telling your story to 500 people? That's 1,000 eyeballs on you. You'd be like, right? Like, or when people tell me, oh, well, only 40 people liked my post. I'm like, that's 80 eyeballs. You'd be so nervous if you were in a room with 40 people telling your story, right? And so you have to think about it in that way. And so the next thing is show the product being used in your daily life. If you're not going live, if you're not in your stories talking, you guys are missing a huge opportunity to let people know that I use this product. I think it's strange when people message me, but I never see them talking about the product in real life, or all I see are just pictures of the pink drink or their hair products, but they're never actually like in their story using those products, or they're never going live talking about those products. I think that is weird. I really do. I'm like, are you not sure about your product? Like, do you not believe in your product? Because if you believed in your product, I would be seeing it every day in your stories, because I take my pink drink every day. I take my supplements every day. So why would I not just show that as a simple part of my life? You don't even have to talk about the product while you're making your pink drink. You could literally be talking about how your son like did something funny that morning, but you could be also making your pink drink at the same time. See how I did that? Threw a little Plexus in, but I'm not talking about Plexus. I'm sharing something else. So you can literally make it so seamless without always throwing Plexus in people's face. My friend Jordan Roddenberry, love the way that she does it. She is so like, it's just very seamless. She went for a walk the other day, and on the next slide, she was like, if you want to go for daily walks at 1 p.m., then you need to do what I'm doing. Like, and I just thought that was so fun. Like, it's just like, hey, if you want, like, you see me out walking every day, if you want to have a 1 p.m. afternoon walk in the sunshine, then you need to do what I'm doing. And then she like led it into, come here tonight to hear more about what I do. And it was like a Zoom or something like that. So it's just little things in her everyday life. If you don't follow her, her handle is like no shame in my mama's mama. What is it, Brianna? Brianna, will you post it in there? She just does it so great. And she is just the most like down to earth person. And I love it because here's the thing too, guys. If we aren't our true selves, we are alluding to
my mama game.
No shame in my mama game. Yeah, Brianna's gonna write it down. But we're alluding that you have to be this certain person to be successful at this. I love that the other day that she and I were talking about just content and graphics and stuff. And we were talking, she's like, I love when people post graphics that aren't like, they don't have to be perfect, because it's showing that other people can also do this and not have the perfect graphic or the perfect this, because it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be consistent. And that's what we have to get in our brains. Like, it just has to be consistent. You can't just throw up one vulnerable post and say it didn't work. You have to be consistent. You have to be okay, just like our business, with failing and think, okay, this post, maybe like when I give you these questions, you can go through the questions, and I'm going to have you guys audit yourselves on Facebook, and you can even partner up with someone and have someone else audit you on Facebook or Instagram, because truly it helps. It really does help. So the next thing is tell the benefits of the product and how it solves your target customers' problems. So who is your target customer? The old you. How is your product going to help solve their problems, right? For me, that's stomach issues, inflammation, anxiety, and sugar cravings, right? How am I going to talk to the mom who is struggle bus, living off of, caffeine, who is eating like Pop-Tarts, or their kids like crumbs, the peanut butter and jelly crumbs? How am I going to talk to them to let them know, like, hey, if you're doing this, this is going to help you? And that's by me showing up, telling my story over and over and over and over and over again, right? And you can tell your story in a million different ways, but you have to be consistent with telling your story, okay? Be consistent. It is worth it, but it will take time, you guys. Nothing like anything, nothing worth having for a while is going to be short, right? Like, you're building this. This is what I don't understand, is you are already doing this. Why not just get really good at it? Why not just get better at it? Learn how. Don't grab the quick post. Don't just post a selfie of yourself with no caption or like an emoji. I'm not saying that you can't post those things every once in a while, but when you're posting, I was listening to a podcast. Does everyone know who Half Baked Harvest is? The girl who always, okay, she's like a recipe developer. And Tegan, she's amazing. And her feed is beautiful with food, and just, it's gorgeous. She's always like, they were like, give us like one piece of advice for social media. She was like, make sure that your posts are captivating. You have to have captivating posts. And I'm not saying this, that you have to have some profound message every time that you get on social media, but it has to be for a reason, right? You could literally post a this or that. That is a reason. You are getting people to comment on your post for connection, for engagement, right? It doesn't have to be some like aha moment every single time, but it has to be strategic, right? Okay, so I'm going to give you some things that basically 4 ways to get consistent on social media. Okay. Okay. everyone's heard, you have to be consistent. You have to be consistent. We've all heard that, right? In our business and working out and just everything, right? You have to be consistent. I'm reading because I've written on some notes. So, here's the thing. Everything you want is on the other side of being consistent. It really is that simple, but here's the catch. You've got to show up. You have to put in the work and you must be consistent. Okay. So 4 ways to get consistent on social media. It doesn't have to be perfect. How many of you guys are a perfectionist? How many feel like that if you cannot have it perfect, you're not going to post it on social media? Drop a 1 in the comments if you feel that way.
Sabrina can't. That's what I was going
Oh, that's okay. Sabrina, you can raise your hand. I don't even know where the comments. Oh, there are the comments. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. You want to show up well, but here's the deal. If you're spending hours trying to write the perfect post, create the perfect story, or film the perfect reel, you're wasting your time. Perfection is procrastination in disguise. That used to be me. I was like, I don't have a picture to post. I'm not going to do it. I just can't think of it. I just can't think of something right now. Like it has to be good. And, I always thought, I'm like, this is my one shot fancy. Like I got to post this post. I'm like, this isn't the first and last post Plexus post, or this isn't the first and last post lifestyle post you're ever going to post, right? Like you're going to be posting more. So this is not your like one shot to like get all the people, right? Like this is a part of your story that you're posting because you're going to do it again tomorrow. You're going to do it again the next day and the next day and the next day. And you're going to be building your audience trust. So it doesn't have to be perfect. And honestly, I'll tell you, the perfect posts do not get the most likes. I promise you that. The ones that I've had like the most, I mean, like sitting there editing my photos, like blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's like flops. And I'm like, daggone it, I spent so long on that post. But the ones where I'm like looking like this and I have a kid, wrangling kid, and I'm like, hey, it's like, yeah, woohoo, like, whatever. And you're just like, I never would have imagined, but that took me, I knew what I wanted to say and I was in the moment. And so I wrote it up and boom, there I go. And it's like, because guess what? You were excited about it. You had passion behind it. You felt like there was a need to tell what you were fired up. You were, you had that excitement behind it and people could feel that. Right. But in those perfectly poised photos and posts, they don't seem real, right? It's staged. Yes. Okay. So perfection is procrastination in disguise. Just because you're staying or feeling busy doesn't mean you're actually doing the work that's going to move your business forward. Also, perfection is subjective. No 2 people see perfection in the same light. So investing your valuable time trying to get there will lead you nowhere. Long story short, consistency wins out of perfection every single time. All right. So create a plan is the second thing. If you don't have a map for where you're headed, how will you know once you get there? Right? So if you don't have an end goal because posting on social media, adding to social media is part of your plan to get to where you want to be. It's part of those numbers that are calculated into your goal, into your rank, because you have to have a plan to post because if you're say you're trying to reach Ruby this month, what do you need your audience to see this week? Because this is Magic Week, basically. What do you need your audience to see to make those sales this week? What do you need to put out there, right? So if you're talking to someone who has thyroid issues, or if you're talking to someone who has financial, they need more money to buy groceries. If you're talking, they're like, yeah, groceries are like a really big thing. Like I have a family of 6 and it's like really stressful trying to feed them. What are you going to post? You're going to snap a picture of your groceries and you're going to post something. I'm so like thankful that, going to the grocery store isn't a stressor for me anymore. Like thanks to Plexus, like something like that, because you are targeting that person. You're making them feel an emotion to something that is a stressor in their lives. Right. And so if you're just ignoring all of that, and then you just post like a testimony of all these ailments that has nothing to do with who you've been talking to, that's not being strategic, right? You're just trying to cast a wide net to a lot of people. And most of the time it doesn't work. But if people see a post that you've been talking to and they're relating to, that's going to trigger something in their brain to think, it might not that month, but if you continue to post to that person because that you're like, this person would be amazing, you're going to build that confidence and trust within Plexus and yourself. And then you're painting a picture for them of what it could be like, right? If they just gave this opportunity a shot, if they just took these products, right? So you won't. It says, my mama always said, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I know what you're thinking. Sure, a plan is great, but I've already got a million spinning plates in the air. If I add social media planning, they may all collapse. And that is a story that you're telling yourself. It truly is. Because the reason why you are not moving forward in if you say, well, I have messaged everybody, I'm stuck, I don't know why this person's not, it's because you're not adding value on social media. It really is. It's true. People want to come to you because they want to know you. And then Plexus is a bonus. And so connection truly is everything in this business, right? Sabrina, I know you're reading How to Win Friends and Influence People, right? Yeah, right. That book is phenomenal for what we're talking about tonight. Okay. And so that is that, if you haven't read that book, go read the book. It's an easy read and it's amazing. So here's the thing. It says, I get it. And I got you. You need a marketing agency in your back pocket that takes the guesswork and overwhelm out of planning your social media. But here's the thing. All you need is to take those 3 things and you need to drop them into your week, right? Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's when you're posting about you. Tuesday and Thursday, that's when you're going to post something about Plexus, right? And that's not going to be a picture of the products. That's going to be a picture of you, maybe with the pink drink, or maybe you out on a walk, and you're going to relate that back to, you can do a 1 business post and 1 product post, right? And the rest is you. And I know for me, it didn't make sense when they were telling me, they're like, only post Plexus 2 times a week. And I'm like, well, how the heck is anyone going to know what I'm doing? It doesn't matter. When you post about your lifestyle all the other days, and your mom life and your do's and your don'ts and your hacks and the struggles and all those things, when you post that pink drink telling them like, this has changed like the game when I come home with my kids or from work and I'm able to play with my kids or whatever it does for you, they're going to be like, I need that. Like, I need that. Like, she is me. Like, I feel her. I've been following her forever. Like, it doesn't matter how many, it does not matter if you post Plexus 5 times a day or 5 times a week, like you're going to get the same result, because people want, if you're not doing the attraction marketing or if you're not adding value, people are not just going to buy a product because they keep seeing it over and over and over and over. It might work for some people, but in the long game, it's really, you're better off starting to build your audience, and it's going to make your sharing so much more seamless. Okay. So add to your daily to-do list. Adding one more thing to your to-do list might feel like the last thing you want to do, but hear me out. Okay. Creating a daily to-do list helps you get out of your head and onto paper. And I know we talk about this all the time, brain dumping. What I do at the beginning of the week is I try to brain dump all the things that I want to put into content for that week. Okay. So if I want to do a recipe, if I want to talk about, think back to your week before, what were some struggles? What were some wins? What were some things that you could talk about from the week before that you might not have shared, right? Write those down and then categorize them. Like I said, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, those are lifestyle posts, right? Those are your 3 things about you that you're going to rotate every single week. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1 business, 1 Plexus. Okay. And you can, you guys, break apart your story, right? If Plexus has helped pay for your car payment, all that, you don't need to put that all in 1 post. Make that 1 post about your groceries. Make the next post the next week about how Plexus has helped you pay for gas, right? Like all of those things. It doesn't have to go all in 1 post. Break those posts up to where you could literally have the whole month planned out for your personal business testimony in little drops, right? Every Thursday, you're going to drop something about your business story, right? So like I say, brain dumping, put that all on paper and then organize it. Have Monday through Friday right there. Saturday and Sunday can be your kind of rogue. You can kind of do whatever you want. Get in your stories more. I feel like Saturday is kind of like an iffy day. So I try to be in my stories a little more on Saturdays. Sundays are great days to post. So you could post something about how to get set up for the week, or what, Brianna's been doing a really great job of every Sunday. She's like, Sunday is not the day to be doing all the things for us in our family. Sunday is the day of rest for our family. And she's posted that every Sunday. And I love that, because guess what? It's honestly made me be like, well, I need to adopt that. Like, I need to rearrange my Sunday, because usually Sunday is the day that I get everything done. And so it's changing my way of thinking, because I keep seeing it over and over again. And I love it every time I see it. Right. And if it's not for the people that don't want to see it, then they're going to pass on. But for the people that want to see that and need to see that, Brianna's going to influence them in some way or the other. And then when Brianna posts about her pink drink, I'm going to be like, oh, I like her. Like, what's she doing? It's just building trust with them. Okay. And stop making excuses. This may sting a bit, but everything that's stopping you from showing up consistently is an excuse. Success doesn't go to the smartest, the prettiest, or the richest. Okay. I want you guys to remember that. Okay. Because we get so sidetracked sometimes on social media about this person, that person. And you guys, It's so true. Success goes to the people who are consistent, who stop making the excuses. If you were watching Christina Williams earlier, it's like, getting down and getting gritty. That's where success goes to, are the people who are not afraid to fail, to be gritty. Yeah, her 3 things is like living in a discomfort of the grind. And that is so true. Being uncomfortable in the grind. The grind's not fun, but it is where we are made. It's where leaders are born. It's where you enhance your leadership skills. Because here's the thing, if we're not going to allow ourselves to get uncomfortable, how can we inspire anybody else to do the same? We all can't live in a safe world if we want to be successful. And I truly believe that. So success goes to those who are brave. Success goes to those who are willing and scrappy enough to search for every answer within the pages of Google. And I know we talk about this, but YouTube used to be my best friend and still is my best friend. When I did not know things about the products, when I did not know things about the business, I mean, like I said, you guys know the story. I didn't have like an upline I still don't. And so like a direct one. And we were kind of learning it when we both started at the same time, but I YouTubed, I said, who are the people that I need to follow on YouTube? Tell me those people. And I dove in. That makes you feel so much more empowered. If you're constantly finding yourself asking, where's the info to the pink drink, or where can I find this? The Help Center in Plexus is, well, you can find the ingredients on the pink drink. You can find anything in the Help Center. Trust me. If I feel like if I have to go to the Help Center to find it out, then you can go to the Help Center and find it out, because majority of the time I have to go to the Help Center to find it out. I don't know all the answers and I don't want to. My brain is, I want to do other fun things, not just know all the, the other non-fun things. You guys can tell my brain is not working correctly right now. Okay, so success goes to those who hear you cannot from others, but choose to say I will instead. And so I really love that one, because a lot of people are going to tell you, you can't do something, you can't do something. But if you truly believe you can, and you say, yes, I can, and I will, watch me, and you go ahead and go about it, you're going to come across so much more powerful, not only to yourself, but to your audience. And that's confidence. Okay. All right. So one more thing really quick. I wanted to give you something, 4 quick questions to ask yourself before you post on social media. I'm sorry, 5 quick questions. And so these are something that I always ask myself, because like I said, when you post, you want to make sure it counts, you guys, you really do. And so some of these questions, maybe you do already ask yourself, or maybe you thought about, but you guys can write these down quickly. Does this post include a scroll stopping visual? When I say that, I don't mean that you've got to have we've already talked about this. You don't have to have some picture perfect situation. It can literally be you with like a funny face. Like that's going to make me stop my scroll, right? Like in your mom bun with like a funny face and then something to capture that, right? But if it's just like a picture of a product like this, like that's not going to make me stop my scroll. Like I'm going to be like, what is that? Why does she have a bag of pink drink? Like, or what is that? Like, I'd be like, what is that? I don't even know what that is. Like, I'm going to stop and scroll on Allie's face with Ashton on her hip, or on her shoulders, or like her doing her workouts like that. I know that when I see a blonde girl doing her workouts in the morning with kids, that's Allie, right? Like that is going to make me stop my scroll. And so it's like, those are the things that people don't understand. It doesn't have to be you don't have to have makeup on all the time. That's not it, but it has to be strategic in the way you're posting to your actual audience. Okay. So it says, in this day and age, social media is very noisy. There are tons of things in posts that your audience could be paying attention to at any given time. The best way to grab their attention is with the visual in your post. And like I said, it could literally be you, no makeup, doing a funny face. And that, like, I'm going to stop my scroll, because I'm gonna be like, I want to read what she's talking about, because her face looks funny and I love it. Okay. So the next thing is, am I causing my audience to feel an emotion? Right? No matter what type of writing you are doing, the most effective way to grab your reader's attention is by causing them to feel an emotion. So if I know that if I walk away from a post and I feel an emotion, I'm automatically going to follow that person. I'm automatically going to be bought in, because I'm like, she made me feel some type of way. And so I want to come back to her. There's a girl I follow on Instagram, and she is freaking hilarious with mom life. And she validates, like, it's like funny. I feel like she always like knows what I'm thinking on that day. And I'm like, oh my God, she is like my person, like, I feel like we could really be best friends. Another person I love is Krista Horton. If you don't follow her on Instagram, she literally, do you not feel like if if you follow her, do you not feel like you could literally just like go into her house and be like, what's up? Like, I'm here, like she makes you feel like, I mean, she talks about everything. She shows up like with no bra on her hair. Like, I mean, why are we so scared to do that? Because we aren't, like, you're not perfect, right? We're not intended to be perfect. I want to go to Fiesta Friday with her too. Like, she's hilarious. Like, this is community, right? That is connection, not Kim Kardashian posting. No one wants to do that, right? Like, you want to be with someone who, like, you can just come over at your lowest or your highest and they still love you the same. I always say, like, if people are stopping over to see my house, then they're not here for me, right? If I have to have my house clean every single time that you come over, you're just here for my house. You're not here for me, right? Like, so that's the kind of approach you want to take to your social media. Okay. So also too, so let's see what I got written down. Sorry. Okay. Are you asking your audience to do something at the end of your post? And we talk about this. If you're not giving a call to action with your audience, how are they supposed to know what they need to do after your post? If you're talking about this pink drink, or you're talking about the energy that you have, and then you just leave it open-ended, how are they supposed to know what to do? So you could put, DM me the word energy and I'll get you information, or drop a heart in the comments and I'll get you more information. You're telling them, hey, if you related to this is the action that you need to do if you want more information. And so a lot of the times people do not do this. And it's just like in a conversation, if you're not bouncing that ball back and forth, like the conversation is going to stop. A lot of people are like, well, she didn't ever answer me. I'm like, okay, well, what was the question that you asked her? Well, I didn't. Okay. That's the same thing with your post. If you want people to respond to your post, give them a reason to. Okay. All right. So 5, is this something I would want to see in my feed? Okay. Now this is where we're going to audit ourselves, and then you can get your bestie or you can get a sideline sister, but you have to be open to constructive criticism if you want to do that with someone else. Okay. You cannot get mad at those people, but here's the thing. Go through your Facebook feed, go through your Instagram feed. I want you to look at your Instagram and your Facebook feed. I want you to think about what we've talked about. Are my pictures scroll stopping? Do my pictures make people would I want to stop my scroll if I saw my pictures? Are my last 5 posts more about me and my lifestyle or Plexus posts? Do I post things that feel uncomfortable to me, or am I just posting like buffering pictures of myself or my kids with no real value or content added, right? Go through those things and audit yourself, and then say, okay, why am I only posting these types of pictures? Why am I not telling my story? Why am I not going deeper into those 3 things that I said above? What is holding me back? Talk to yourself about those types of things, and then go to your best friend or someone on here and say, hey, here's what I think I see on my social media. Could you tell me what you see? What do you think I could do better? What do you think I'm already doing really well? And because I feel like feedback is the ultimate, like, okay, you got your things together and now you can go and find the solution to some of the holes maybe in your social media, or your adding value like game. I feel like if we have other eyes on that, it's going to be a lot easier for us to identify, because sometimes we don't always see, what other people see. And so I just hope that this has been helpful, because it truly is the way we show up on social media in our truest form is really impactful. And the way that other people, I don't want to say necessarily perceive us, because we always want to show up true, right? It's not saying that you have to come on and show this facade, but when you show up, just truly, you give, what is it? What are stories now? 90 seconds. You can go 90 seconds on your stories, right? So you're giving 3 90-second increments of your day, a beginning, a middle, and end. And guess what? That literally can look like a ton for like people, right? Like they're like, I know what she was doing this morning, and in the middle of her day, and then at the end at nighttime, right? Like that's only a couple minutes of your day. Yeah, a minute and a half of your day. And like, that's nothing. But just think, hey, we let her out. But just think, like, if you did that consistently and you got more comfortable every single morning, every single evening, every single day, you're giving a little more, it would it would go like miles. It would go miles for people. And so maybe you're thinking, what do I post? We're gonna wrap this up, but what should I put? What should I get on my stories and talk about in the morning? What do you do in the mornings? For me, I make my lemon water. I take my boys to school. And so I might be showing myself making my lemon water with banks in my arms is usually how it goes. And then you can show like my feet walking out to the car, opening the car door, shutting it. And then maybe after I drop them off, I pop in my stories and say like, okay, I just dropped the boys off and here's what I'm doing today. I'm going to make this for dinner tonight, and maybe talk about an ingredient that people might not know about. Like I'm just saying cauliflower rice, I'm going to substitute cauliflower rice tonight for regular rice and blah, 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 or like tell a funny story. Then you're going to pop back in the afternoon, and maybe you're doing a workout. Maybe that's part of your 3 things. And you're like, okay, I'm getting ready to do a workout. I really love Madeline Moves. If you guys haven't tried her workouts, they're amazing. Like, here's what I'm doing today. And I'm going to have a protein shake after. Then you're going to maybe show the protein shake that you're making. That's lean. There's your plexus plug, right? And then at nighttime, maybe you're going to talk about a personal growth book that you're reading, and maybe something out of that, something to highlight that. And you can take a picture of that and write something, or you can talk about it. Like, this is what, I'm reading this book, and here's something that I read tonight, and here's how I'm going to apply it to my life, or here's what I'm going to do, and apply it tomorrow to my day. And then you're done, and you're adding so much value to people in under 5 minutes, right? And so think about that tomorrow, be consistent with that. And here's the thing, you can make your post off of what you talk about in your story. So if you're sharing a lean recipe, or you're making your lean shake, share the recipe as a post. That can be one of your posts, right? You're adding value, you're in health and wellness. Make it easy, guys. Don't make it hard. Don't try to be, an influencer that has 750,000 followers. Just be you with the 1,000 followers that you have, and start there, right? So I want you guys to really focus on this. This is something we're going to move forward with. If you feel stuck in your business, if you feel like you're doing the messages, but no one's responding, I want you to lean into adding more value. Go audit yourself. I'm happy to be one of those people to go audit you if you want me to. All you gotta do is just message me, or I'm happy to help you dig deeper into your 3 things. I really am, because I really do believe that once you have this, when you feel more comfortable in this area, a lot of things are going to come a lot more easier to you and in this business. So I love you guys. Happy Monday. And also too, you can get this. I know a lot of people ask about the daily IPA journal. It's freaking amazing. You can get it off of Amazon. I think it's like $10. It's literally called the Daily IPA Journal.
I love it.
Yep. It's easy. It's good. It's 90 days. So, all right, guys. Bye-bye.